Hi everyone, welcome to my channel where I will be crocheting it forward in this video by showing you my overall Bill or overall Sam, however you have come to know him, pattern. Now this is my original pattern. I put this up on Facebook, a couple Facebook pages along with this one, and kind of did a survey on which one people preferred. I lost these two patterns. I've been looking everywhere the last couple weeks, and then I just broke down and said, you know what, you're just gonna have to start from scratch. In case you have not seen, he is compliments to my Sunbonnet Sue. Okay, and I will put that at the end of the video if you want to check that out, up in the upper right hand corner or left hand corner if you want to click on that. I am going to come up with the pattern for him. I'm going to go ahead and create a playlist for vintage patterns. Yeah, something to look forward to. So while trying to duplicate him, I came up with him. Okay, so again, a little more definition. It is going to make a difference in terms of the yarn. I recommend that you use all the same brand yarn or close to it. As you can tell, he right here in this one looks a little bit more thicker. He looks a little more thinner. But I had some problems doing the overall here, and I figured it out while creating this one. Simplified it. You're not going to believe how simple this pattern is. So I am going to actually show you how to make him, and you can tell that he is even a little more thicker. Okay, and then I use different yarn. I couldn't find any Karen yarn. This Karen yarn, if you're using Karen yarn, you're going to get a nice thick straw hat. In fact, I just used the same for him, and you can see I did not use Karen yarn, and look how much shorter he looks. Same pattern. Okay, the materials I'm going to use for this pattern is just a bunch of my scrap yarn. I'm trying to get the same worsted weight number. Most of this is all 4. So whatever colors you decide for your overall Bill or Sam, you are going to need a sewing needle, some scissors, and I am using a 4.0 millimeter, also known as a G hook, as well as my smaller hook that I keep on standby. Alright, so because I lost the pattern to my original one here, I just kind of, was counting, and by eyeballing it, kind of came up with this other pattern that I just wrote, which is what I'm going to show you, and that's for this one here. I will tell you that I use some thicker yarn here, which appears that his body is a little bit more heavier. But it's pretty much the same thing. I noticed up here, I was really confused up here when I was creating this, and you can't see it. Well, you can see it in the back. I was just adding stuff in here or whatever, and then I just simplified it over here. So I will be sharing this pattern. If I do happen to find the pattern for this, I will share that. So we're going to be working overall Bill or Sam, and I know you guys are probably tired of me saying that, but some of you know him as overall Bill, and some of you know him as overall Sam. I've seen them both on the internet, so I'm just trying to be mindful of how everybody knows him. We're going to start from his pant leg and work our way up. So grab your overall color, and we are going to chain 7 plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 1. Double crochet to the first stitch. So skip that chain, and it should leave us with 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so our first double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I do want to say it is double crochet in 6 plus 1. Okay, so we're going to chain 1, turn our work, And then we're going to, in this first stitch, we are going to make 2 double crochets for an increase. 1, 2, and then 1 in each of the next 5 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I already know that this particular project that I'm making right now with this yarn, this is Karen, and it's thicker, so it's probably going to come out as thick as the other one. So then rows 3 through 5, we are just going to make 7 double crochets across, and that's chain 1, and then we're going to make 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that is completing row 3. Go ahead and work 2 more rows of 7 crochets. We're just chaining 1 and turning our work and making 7 across until you get 5 rows, and I will meet you back. So after completing your 5th row, we're going to chain 1, and in your 6th row we're going to make 2 double crochets in the first stitch. 1, 2, and then 1 double crochet in each stitch across. So that's 2, this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then your last one. Don't forget to always, if you have to turn your project sideways to get those 2 strands of yarn there at B. So now we have 8, and then we're going to chain 1. Row 7 is going to be 8 double crochets across. That's just 1 double crochet in each stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And on your 8th row, you're going to decrease in your first stitch. 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th row, so that means we're going to make 2 together. Okay, don't finish it. Go to your next one, yarn over, pull through 2. You have 3 loops on your hook. Go through 1. So that's our first double crochet. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So rows 9 and 10 are 7 double crochets across. So go ahead and make 2 more rows of 7 double crochets, and I will meet you at the end. All right. So now what we're going to do, we're going to fasten off, but we're not going to change color. But we have to be sure that this is our right side up. Okay, that makes sense. Now, if you're not sure, the rows where we ended up doing the 8 serves for his little bottom, his butt, right here. So we need that facing right, okay? And that's going to be our face. It's going to be front side up. So what we're going to do is go ahead and attach again, and do two double crochets on this first stitch. 5, 6, 7. Okay, and it might be stretched out a little bit. You'll see it. Okay, so I'm just starting with a standing double crochet. If you're not comfortable with that, you can go ahead and do a chain 3. So we're going to do 2 double crochets right here. We're doing up, kind of making like around his arms and shoulders. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, don't finish that second yarn over. Grab your whatever you're going to use for the shirt and the arm. Okay, that's the color you're going to grab, and I'm using these bright colors so that they can help with the video, that you can see the pattern more. And in that yarn over, we're just going to drop our blue in the back. Okay, we're going to pick that up in a minute. We're going to go ahead and pull our shirt color in and just tie it so it's not all over the place with the blue yarn that we just dropped. Okay, put all those tails in the back, because remember, this is our front side. Okay, pull on the working yarn to tighten it. Okay, and now we're just going to finish this row with 2, oops, didn't grab the wrong color here, with 2 of our shirt color, making sure you grab the shirt color, and just make 2 double crochets. 1, 2. And if I'm going too fast, again, you can adjust your settings. You can set the speed of the video. Okay, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. Now we're in the back. So now we want all of our yarn facing us. We're going to go ahead and make 2 double crochets. Okay, in that same color, we're going to do 1 yarn over and then drop it to our front because we're about to snip it, and then pick our blue back up and do this yarn over. Now, I know you're saying you can see that strand right there, but don't worry about it, it's going to disappear. Right now, we just want to go ahead and cut our shirt color. Okay, go ahead and just tie it right here. You don't have to make a knot, it's just so that it's secure. And then we're going to go ahead and pick up and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 double crochets in your overall color. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that last one, 6. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and fasten off. Okay, so you turn it around this way, and there's this little lump right here for his bottom. Let me make sure I'm in the frame here. So here's his legs, come down here, there's his butt. Now we're going to go ahead and make his arm real quick, and it'll come down here. Alright, so we're going to make his arm real quick. So you want the same shirt color. We're going to go ahead and chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plus 1. Now we're going to double crochet back to first stitch for a total of 10 double crochets. So in that second stitch, we're going to go ahead and make a double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. Okay, Okay, and then we're going to make 2 single crochets. So we're going right in that same stitch, single, single. We're going to make 3 half double crochets, 1 in each of the next 3, 1 half, 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 and then we're going to finish by making 5 double crochets. So that should get us back to our first. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and don't forget that last one is always tricky. 5. Now we're going to chain 1 and leave enough of a tail for you to sew. A good 12 inches at least. Okay? So now we have the arm done. Go ahead and get whatever skin color you're going to do. I'm going to do this cream. We're going to quickly do his hand. Get yourself a magic knot. Magic circle, I mean. And you can make it any way you want. Remember, this is your crochet, whatever you're comfortable with. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to slip to join here, and then I'm going to chain 2. So you have to chain 2, and then we're going to make 1 half double crochet. Oops, that was not a half double crochet. Sorry about that. Yarn over. Okay. 2 double crochets. That's 1 double crochet, 2 double crochets, and then we're going to make 1 half double crochet. I'm just going to mirror the opposite side, chain 2, and then slip to join. Okay, and then also leaving long enough tail. It's not a very big hand, so you probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close the circle. Well, let me pull this through. Close your circle. Okay, and that kind of leaves you like a half a circle. Okay, so what we're going to do is, see this strand right here that you started with from the magic circle? We're going to use that to sew the front part of the hand, the fingers, and then we're going to use this we're going to use, I'm sorry, let me explain that. We're going to use this to sew, first we're going to, let me back up, rewind here, I'm so sorry. We're going to use this long strand of hair, strand of yarn, and we're going to sew it right here, the small part of your arm. Okay, use this long one to sew right here, and then when we come over here, actually let me put it together for you here. We're going to use this long one to sew onto the arm, and then we're going to use this small one to sew onto the overalls. That makes sense. So right now we're going to do one more thing before we go ahead and sew in our ends. We're going to make a little neck here. So go ahead and grab your skin color and get to the top here. And this is all going to be decrease row. So we have 8 stitches here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are going to make 2 stitches. We're going to make a decrease in each stitch. Okay? So I'm going to slip to join, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a single crochet and another, and go ahead and make another single crochet, and then I'm going to finish them. That makes sense. So we're going to go ahead, pull up our loop, don't finish, go in your next one, pull up your loop, 3 on your hook, that's number 2. Do the same in the next one, that's number 3, and then your last one, which is the 2 double crochets for the shirt color. 3 on your hook, chain 1, and we're going to fasten off. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and sew our hand onto our arm. All right, so I've sewn in my ends and basically just did them all to the back and tied a couple in a knot. I have also sewn my hand to my arm, okay, and this is where we're at. We are going to, I'm going to show you, I will go ahead and sew the arm on with you, but it's important that you leave one row right here, 2 rows actually, this row and that row of blue, your overall color, because that is going to serve as the suspender, which is different than what I did in my other pattern. I actually like crocheted 6 and then sewed it on there, and it was very bulky, and I remember that telling myself that I was going to have to come up with an easier way than that, so I have. So remember to leave that little tiny part right here. We're going to sew the hand portion onto the overall with that smaller tail. Just trying to make use of our tails here. So now I have my needle threaded, and we're just going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to sew. Whoa. No, that's right. Sorry about that. So it should like bend a little bit on its own. So this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to go ahead. I just want to be sure I'm in the frame. So essentially you're going to leave this row, you're going to grab like under your neck row, leave them top stitches there. Make sure you have a stitch right here, and we're just going to surface crochet, or surface sew, I'm sorry. And I've shown this before, this method before, on how I sew my appliques onto blankets. Some of you want to go back to my video, some of you have probably already seen that. I like to just move the arm in a little bit, and then you get the definition of his bottom. You know, it's the little details that make the pattern look so cute. So that's all we're doing. What I'm trying to do is get stitches that are directly underneath this so that you're not seeing that much of the top color. You don't want to grab a stitch way out here and go that way, because that's going to look super obvious. But I'm just grabbing top stitches. I'm trying to go through each one of these. And I'm going to go ahead and go faster now. And again, just as close as you can get it, so it doesn't look like terribly obvious. And you don't, I mean, I guess you can go ahead and make it go all the way through, because it's going to be a one-sided project. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep double checking that I'm in the frame. Go across here. This is his cuff area. Okay, and then come up the back. So I do have those 2 rows right here, so it looks like the suspender. And I'm just going to go back up the side here. And this is how we're going to do his hat and also his, and I'm just hanging on to it with these 2 fingers, my index and my middle finger. You can put some stick pins on there if you want, if that helps you better. I lost my train of thought. What I was saying. Oh, this is how we're going to attach the hat as well. So if you feel more comfortable just going like in and out, like right here all the way to the back, that works too, because again, this is a one-sided project. Okay, now we're back to the beginning. What I like to do is come in the back, make a couple knots so that it's secure, and then we can go ahead and sew the hand on. Okay. this little, I know it doesn't look like a lot. Hopefully you're watching the video before you dive into the pattern. If you want a little longer tail, just remember that when you're making your magic circle. And we're just doing the same thing. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go in and out of these since we're not dealing with a lot of yarn. Super simple. It's the little details. Okay. I know you're saying, whoa, that's not even enough, but this is why I love this little tiny crochet hook. It grabs everything. Okay. And I can actually go ahead and work that through. I'm good with that. Now you want to grab your black yarn so we can immediately get into the shoe. You see how fast this is working out? Go ahead and grab your crochet hook. Now we're going to turn him upside down. Okay, we know we have, I think it's 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to start out. Let's see where I'm at. Shoes. Start out at front right, upside down, slip to join in the first stitch. Let's see where that first stitch is. And make sure you have the front side facing you. Okay, and then we are going to make chain 1 and then make 3 single crochets in there. 1, 2, 3. So sorry, this is hard to see. Then we're going to make 5 more single crochets across. So that's 3, 4, 7, 8. No, there's 8. 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is that chain. Okay, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and in that same stitch we're going to single crochet all the way across. So I know we're doing 5 in a row. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in this last stitch we're going to make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and in that next single crochet you're just going to slip to join. Remember we did a group of 3. Just do the best you can. Chain 1. Okay, work your yarns to the back. Okay, and I'm going to work this one a little bit more inward. Okay, so you have this definition of the top part of his, it looks like a boot. The top part of his shoe is a little bit more thicker. Oops, wrong one. So what I like to do is move these ends toward the middle. So I don't want to, you know, a big knot showing, and then just make a little knot. Okay, so he's pretty much like 80% done. Okay, so next thing we want to do, I'm going to keep recording whatever hat color you're going to make. Okay, and you know what, I'm going to have to grab another color because this is not Karen yarn and it's not going to turn out the same. So let me try to see if I can find some Karen yarn. Oh gosh, I don't know if this is going to work. All right, I'm going to try this one. This is pretty thin. All right, still kind of the same hat color, straw, like a straw hat, I'm sorry. So we're going to get our slip stitch and we're going to chain 5 plus 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, plus 1, and then we're going to double crochet back to our first chain. So we should have 5 double crochets. So skip that chain 1 and then go into that next stitch, make a double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're going to chain 1, turn our work. In the very first stitch, we're going to increase, make 2 double crochets. And I'm going to do that over because this is kind of loose. So we're going to increase in the first and last stitch of the second row. So this is 1, 2 double crochets in your first stitch, 1 in the next for 3, 1 in the next for 4, 1 in the next for 5. That leaves 1 stitch, 2 double crochets in that. Remember to push it sideways so you can get both strands. 6, 7. We have 7 double crochets for row 2 of our hat. Chain 1, turn your work. Row 3 is 3 double crochets in your first and last stitches. So this is, whoops, let's rewind and do that again. 1, 2, 3, 1 in the next is 4, 1 in the next is 5, 1 in the next is 6, 1 in the next is 7, 1 in the next is 8, 8, 3, and this last one, 9, 10, 11. I'm sorry, I meant 3 in that same stitch. We're going to chain 1, turn our work. We're going to repeat that row. Okay, so 3 double crochets in our very first stitch. 1, 2, 3, 1 in the next for 4, 1 in the next for 5, 1 in the next for 6, 1 in the next for 7, 1 in the next for 8, 1 in the next for 9, 1 in the next for 10, 1 in the next for 11, 1 in the next for 12, and that leaves 1 last stitch for 3 double crochets. 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, and we chain 1, turn our work, and now what we're going to do is just make 1 double crochet across in each stitch. So that'll give us 15. First stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and don't forget your weird last one. You always have to like You just have to tilt it so you can get both of those loops. And 15. Okay, we're going to chain 1 and leave a good 8 inches for sewing. Okay, and that is our hat. Now, real quick, I want to show you, so you want your, I just turned it over, so you want your strand to be on your lower right hand side. So I'm going to turn this around. It's this trick I want to show you. When you sew in your tail from your hat, if you work through some stitches here, okay, if you kind of like pull a little bit, it gives this rounded effect now, doesn't it? It's not like straight across. Isn't that cool? Anyway, that's what I want you to do. From here, I'm just going to go ahead and grab a neighboring stitch and then just make a knot. And another. Okay. So now, we're going to set that aside. So we're going to put red right here to look like a little bandana scarf around his neck, and then also right here on his hat. So grab your red, and all we're going to do right here at his neck, we know there's 4 stitches there because we made 4 decreases. We are just going to go ahead and slip to join and then make 1 single crochet all the way across, but I'm going to go ahead and sew in my tail, or crochet in my tail. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, chain 1, and now we're just going to go ahead and cut. Now what you want to do is work in both of these down to where your neck is. Okay, and then from here we're just going to tie a knot. Okay, and then we're just going to snip like that. Okay, grab your red again, grab your hat and your crochet hook, make a slip knot. Okay, and then on this you have 1 row here and 1 row here. We're going to go ahead and fold our hat, and once you fold it, well, if you stretch it out like that, you can see that there's this dotted row right there. Okay, maybe I can get it up close. So if we pull it up, you can see the stitches right there. It's a dotted row. That's what we're going to crochet in. So I'm going to go ahead and attach on the side. Okay, and what I'm going to do is just hold my piece with my ring finger and my middle finger. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and go under the stitch and single crochet. Go in your next stitch, pull up, and single crochet. You might have to do this in slow motion. Let me see if I can get it close. Come in here, it's just that little dotted and single crochet. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the work and not the camera. Just like that. I'm going to do that all the way across. You guys have seen my videos, I do this a lot. You know, like I said, it does, just the little details add so much character to your project. And then your last stitch, you want to single crochet around the outside. Okay, work in your ends, and we will come back and sew the hat on. All right, so I have my needle threaded for my hat. Now what I need to do is come in a couple stitches, so I'm just going to go zigzagging, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets from your left going inward. Okay, and this can be a little tricky. Because I feel it's important for the pattern to see the handkerchief here, what I did is I just kind of folded this right here, the handkerchief row, and then I sewed on the rest of the hat on like that. So then when it lifts up, it has a little definition there. You're not missing out on the neck totally. And you do want the hat a little slanted, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do it, and if you need to go ahead and slow the video down, go for it. So basically it's just in and out these stitches at the bottom, and then just grab a stitch to the body, just like that. We're going to come backwards, so don't worry if you see that, whoa, that's not real tight. We're going to come back again. We're just trying to get it situated right now. So again, we're just sewing top to the bottom, and then around this neck area I hid completely. I use this to anchor, and I hid it completely. Okay, so on the ends I like to do a good 3 stitches. Okay, now we're going to come back. When I come back, I just hide the rest of that neck area with my thread. See how it disappears? I'm just going to come back, make it sturdy, and at this point, I'm not going to overlap my red because that would just look super tacky. So I'm just going to go in and out right here. Still on the hat color, all the way across. Okay, and if you need to make this at the end right here, I'm going to show you a trick. If you want it to like tilt a little bit more, you see how his, like, I didn't get a chance to tilt it that much right here on this one, but you can work the end right here where it pulls down at the bottom, and it acts as a little bit more of a tilt. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm going to work in my ends. I'm just going to keep recording. Super simple. Looks so complicated. Can you imagine putting a bunch of these on some granny squares or some C2C squares, or even in the corner or something? I'm gonna go ahead and get a playlist going of vintage, because I've seen a lot of patterns where he's like fishing, or he's got a kite that he's flying, and then he's playing with the dog, and I think that would be awesome. So this part is optional, and all this is, make sure I'm in the frame here, is this little pocket, and then like right here like a little cuff. Okay, and I'm just going to show you real quick how to do that, and then we'll be done. So we know this little bump right here, right there, is his bottom or his bootay, and I like to go right there in the top because it's usually where your pockets are, right there by your butt. And I'm going to go ahead and hang on to that with my fingers, go straight across, and then just kind of try to do a square. However, it's going to be smaller toward the bottom. Let me see. And just do your best. That's all I'm doing. Okay, so there's his pocket. I'm gonna come back over here I used more yarn than I thought. I'm going to work this outer end closer to the middle where this one is so I can tie it up and secure that. Alright, and then for his cuff, I mean, I did 2 right here, and I noticed in my other one, real quick, I just did 2 straight across. Again, this is optional, you don't have to do this. I think for the video I'm just going to do 1. So I like to come up at least 1 row of double crochet and maybe go straight across. I suppose you could surface crochet if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and make this knot. I don't think I'll be able to do another one, but let's see. My fingers are short, stubby. Hey, I did it. Awesome. Now remember, if you're doing this tight, you're going to cinch it. That's not the look we're going for. And there we have it. Our overall Bill or Sam. However, whoops, let me move back here. Whoops. Sorry. There. I think he's all in the camera there. So yeah, there we have our 3 overall Sams. I think I'm gonna have to get more. I did like 6 of them, 6 or 8 of them for Sunbonnet Sue, and I got them on some C2C squares. I'm gonna make this big blanket. I'm gonna put that also in the thumbnail when I get that done. So always look to see if I've updated the thumbnail. There they are. I hope you enjoyed the pattern. I'm so sorry it took so long. Disclosure real quick, I am not a professional. I record off my tablet. I do not have a professional camera. I am always looking to better myself. I welcome comments. Please be nice. Life is too short to be mean. Always check the information box for further information. Don't forget to like, share, check out my Sunbonnet Sue if you have not checked that out. And I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, there you have it. So together, let's continue to crochet it forward. Bye now.